Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Appreciate everybody coming out tonight. We'll let the record reflect that all board members are present. Minutes for the...
Marie, excuse me. We need to do a public hearing for minutes.
Okay.
That's what we need to do first.
Well, we will call the public hearing to order then for our budget. Notice to taxpayers. Basically, we have submitted this budget to the state. It's available for review from anybody, but rainy day, $3,500, general, $314 and $50, local roads and streets, $25,500, motor vehicle highway, $38,100, and local road and bridge match of $225,000. So our budget that we've submitted to the state, the total is $606,150 for 2021. Is there any public comment or questions?
That 225, that was from our paving project, correct?
I believe so.
The 225 for the paving, right?
No, that is, we put $225,000 in case we do get the grant. If we don't, no harm, no foul. That's just in there. That way, if we put it in, then we don't have to do an additional appropriation. They're allowing us to spend that money. We don't have it yet, but we're allowing us to spend that money. And that, because like last time we did we got the paving, we had to do an additional appropriation to spend that money. This, he's just put it in case we do get it. It's in there, and we don't have to do the additional appropriation.
So it's actually not money we have.
Right.
Well, if there's no questions or concerns regarding this, I guess we will close our public hearing and proceed with our regular board meeting with the approval of our prior meeting minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to our reports. Andy first.
All right, underwater, plants treated 932,620 gallons. It's August 25th. Our average daily usage is down to 66,615. Filters were backwashed on August 31st and September 4th. The September water report's complete and it's been submitted to IDEM. The water inventory survey has been updated and I also submitted that to IDEM. The consumer notice for lead and copper have been distributed and certification has been submitted to IDEM. We installed one new water service and one water main tap. Under wastewater, been formally daily checks of the lift station and the sewer plant. The lift station's pumped 1,117,939 gallons since August 25th, and our average daily wastewater is 79,852. It's still up a little bit even though it's dry. Sewer plant's open and we are discharging. The weekly sewer samples are complete. Manholes in section 5 of the subdivision are being corrected now. Under streets, the grading and the stone are complete along South Railroad. We're going to touch that up after they finish the work on the tracks. They came through there the other day and kind of flung stuff everywhere, so I'm going to wait till they're done before we clean that anymore. Attached our trunk coats for your review. I have not received quotes for the equipment for them. We repaired the lock of the shelter house on the bathroom door, and we're going to be touching up that peeling the paint over there and picked up some paint to match that. Under building, we had 21 building permits issued, 1 building inspection, 3 electrical inspections, 2 zoning inquiries, 3 building permit inquiries, and the August census report is complete and that's been submitted to us. That's all I have unless you have any questions.
continuation of the subdivision?
Unless you're doing anything.
Okay. We'll wait for new business then. Jennifer, do you have anything for us this evening?
The only thing I have is, the public sent me an email, and they would like to be having trash pickup October the 23rd. And Papa John's will be in town September the 17th from 4 to 6. And I've had several people call, about wanting the town to have, rummage sales during, what would have been the festival, September 26th on that Saturday. And so I didn't know if you guys wanted to advertise for anything like that, or just, I know we've had it once, but I told my see what you guys saw.
Thoughts? Suppose we could put it out on the sign if there's a bunch of people wanting to do it.
Advertises a townwide yard sale for that particular day or weekend.
Yeah. Not very many people were in town for other yard sales, but
Yeah,
seems like people are getting out a lot more, and there's a lot of interest in it.
I've seen some comments where people were assuming that some of the festival goers might wander through town not realizing we were canceled, so it might create some traffic into town for a yard sale. I have no problem with putting a sign on it and putting it on our town website.
Whether we
I
wanna-
usually advertise it in the free section, with the paper too, so.
we want to then designate that as a townwide yard sale that weekend.
Hey, what's that?
Jennifer, on the big
Either
trash,
that Saturday, the
they take
26th.
everything or anything, or is there a limit, or
On the
what?
big trash, it's a limit of five items. And they won't take anything like those Freon tires, anything of that sort. If you do have a mattress, now they have to be wrapped, and he'll send you a list of, yeah, but it is a limit of 5.
What day is Papa John's here?
17th from 4 to 6.
September?
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Well, does anybody want to, make a motion to go ahead and designate the 26th of this month as a yard sale?
I'll make a motion that we make the 26th townwide yard sale for that Saturday.
For a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do you have anything else? All right. Mr. Jellison, on you.
Again, this week I distributed a log, if I don't have one, there's a couple right there. Really, there's just, right now, 3 main properties that I'm really having difficulty with. Whether it's being notifying the owner or the resident, or getting cooperation from the owner or the resident. 140 West Main, we discussed last week. He had brought up an ADA compliance type issue. The town attorney has assured me that we are not violating anything there, that we're not preventing him from receiving services or anything like that. And so what, in our conversation, what she suggested was that we do send that resident a letter explaining that the research has been done and we don't see any violation there. And that we also maybe provide him with a list of people that might be able to help him remediate his property, of course at his expense. And that would be my recommendation on the next step on that property. The second property, 345 East Meridian Street, there's been a citation, 2 citations issued on that property. One for the high grass and weeds in the rear of the residence, and the second was for having 2 junk gas grills set alongside the road in the right-of-way right there. There's been no remediation attempts as of today that I'm aware of in the backyard. And I think this is another person that may not have the physical ability to remediate that problem. Last I looked, those weeds were 6-7 feet tall now. So at some point, again, I think our first step should be to issue a letter to her saying, here are some services that you might be able to contract with, and see if we get any improvement from that. And then if not, which that would be my guess from discussions I've had, and she's even quit answering the door now when I show up to talk to her about that.
She informed me, Jeff, that she wants to burn all that trash in the back.
She does want
Yeah,
to.
and I told her, you know, that I didn't think that's a good idea. I made some big pile, you've seen it.
Yes,
And I don't think it's too close to neighbors.
yeah, I think there will be a safety issue, and certainly on that. The third is 215 West, or excuse me, 215 South Walnut. Again, that's the residence that I talked about, I think, last week, that is not visible even from the street. It's a path basically through the weeds. I have issued notices on the door. I've knocked on the door, get no answer. Very seldom do I ever even see, other than a pickup truck that is parked there, do I ever see another vehicle parked there. But again, no answer. So my recommendation on that is, again, too, that the town send a letter to the owner of the residence, because from the best I've been able to determine, the resident is not the owner of the property. So I think at this point we need to seek remediation efforts from the owners there, and see what kind of cooperation we get, give it another week, and see if we can make some headway there. 505 South Indiana, I believe it is, has a lot of stuff in their front yard. I've been working with those people, and they have made some attempts, and although small, they're working, and they promised me that each week I would see progress. And the first week I did see progress. If you want to call it progress, stuff was moved from the front yard to their shed, but at least it's out in the front yard at this point. And then this week I have noticed that they have drained their swimming pool that had the stagnant water, and a little bit more of the items in the front yard. It looks like have been moved, and I've not really poked around down there yet this week. But the relationship I have with them is I'm going to be here every week, and we're going to have this conversation, and you know, this week we need to get this moved. And once we get that moved, I think as long as we keep seeing cooperation there, eventually we're gonna get that cleaned up a little bit. Again, a couple of these properties didn't get that way overnight, not gonna get cleaned up that way overnight, but they're at least providing me some cooperation. There is one vacant mobile home, 550 South Broadway, that I don't know yet who owns, but it's vacant, high grass. The house just to the north of that was
It's
540.
Yeah.
It's Opie's.
Mike Lee.
Okay. The house just north of that 540 also had high grass, and I spoke with a resident there. Her lawnmower was broken. She contacted the landlord and asked for assistance, and I just drove by there before I came here. It looked like the yard had been mowed, so I know one of you council members had brought that situation up as well. So other than that, just I towed a car from
335 Indiana.
yes, and it had 2-year expired license plates on it, parked on the street. Had an idea who it belonged to, but again, every time I knock on the door, they're not coming to the door. Put a 5-day tag on it, then 5 days later I drive by and they'd ripped the tag off. So we just called the towing company. The towing company requested the sheriff's department be on scene while we tow it, and the sheriff's department just come down and sat with us just to make sure we had the problem. So that's where I'm at. You can see on the list there that we also have some other properties that I'm working with, but the ones that I kind of talked about are kind of on the hit list right now as far as priorities. I don't have anything else.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With regard to the letters that you mentioned there, I personally don't feel comfortable recommending a specific service to these people.
Okay.
But if you want any assistance in writing some kind of letter, I'd be happy to help with that, so.
Sure, and that's fine. I see your point with that. I just don't know what kind of cooperation we're gonna get, and I think we need to be thinking about a week or two down the road and how we want to kind of address that issue with a couple of these. And just go from there, but if you're not comfortable recommending, I certainly understand your point of view, Murray.
I don't believe that, I think there's a lot of different companies that probably offer services like that, and they're probably fairly easy to find.
Okay.
So I wouldn't feel comfortable recommending a specific one.
I wasn't gonna
In an
recommend a
official
specific
capacity.
one, I was gonna maybe research a few and provide, 3 or 4 maybe that they could choose from.
Sure.
But again, I see where you're coming from about, as a town, that maybe we should not be recommending any business.
Yeah, I don't think we can, I don't know if that could in any way be considered an advertisement. but
Right, I
that's
understand.
But yeah, I'll help you with
Okay.
the other letters if you like.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to old business. Is Mrs. Nelson here?
She is not, but she was just wondering if the council had made a decision on closing the street for her for the trail show.
What is that? What did it say?
October 3rd.
I think one of you had asked me to look into liability issues, and I don't have an issue with it as long as you're an additional insured, the town is.
Any thoughts?
I don't see any difference between that and the street dance,
Sure.
closing the town or closing the street.
Yeah.
What?
I said, but we didn't have the street dance.
Well, I know, but
Are they just wanting to do that half there?
this,
This
half
half.
here.
This block.
Okay.
Well, they did it a few summers ago when they had the
Yeah.
Trail Fest
Yeah,
in June.
I'm ready to move to let them.
Okay. Well, if you wanna make that motion.
I'll move to let the train people have the street blocked off October 3rd.
Is there a second?
Is it the 3rd or 23rd?
Is there?
3rd.
3rd.
Do they still have requirements and restrictions on distancing in festivals and everything, that the booths have to gotta be set so many feet apart and that
You're
type
still
of thing?
supposed to maintain the
6 foot.
6 feet, yeah.
I don't think there was anything about distance between booths, that's just how it was being interpreted at certain places, was physically placing the booths X number of feet apart, as I understand it. As long as people are distanced, then,
And you can have even more than 250, I think, but then that has to go through the health department, so this
Sure.
shouldn't be to that point, but.
Well, they could check with the Arcadia Farmers Market, because they're doing it every Thursday night, and they have all these booths set up.
I'll second it.
do you have any additional?
My concerns was we're following the governor's orders on festival activities and we're on the air as additional insured and we get a copy of it, the additional insurance.
Sounds reasonable to me, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ball diamonds are on here again.
They've already scheduled.
Yeah, we,
Okay, great. What'd you decide?
we're happy to do that. We would like, for your event, for us to be covered on your insurance as well, though, as additional insured,
No problem.
so.
And can we have a copy of that? So
Do that, we'll probably
Be
have
on
to
a-
send it to her and get your rider.
All right, I appreciate that.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Great, thanks guys.
Go plan it, now you get to plan it.
Okay, our ball diamonds are on here again. Is there any discussion on that?
At the last meeting, I said that I would make some phone calls and see if I could find some interest in someone or an organization using that diamond. And I have located a company or organization that's interested, And this here is Randy Gutierrez, and he's here to speak on their behalf as to what they're looking to do out there and what they have interest in.
Hello, I'm Randy Gutierrez. I'm on the Tipton Baseball Board. I just had a meeting a couple of weeks ago. I was telling John about it last night that we were looking into these fields down here. The state is wanting us to host some tournaments, and the situation with the tournament is they want you to have multiple fields. Up Tipton, we only have one field that we can hold a tournament on. Well, that's for like Babe Ruth, age 15 and above. But the big tournaments are normally from 8 years old up to 13. With the use of these fields, we could incorporate both Diamonds, Tipton, and Atlanta using your fields. What we would want to know is what you would want us to do as far as, you know, if we maintain them the whole season, or if you guys want to mow for us, or just tell us what you want, or if there's a fee to use them, or if you just want to donate them and we'll just use them and upkeep them ourselves. But you guys just let us know what you want to do.
Well,
If you want any baseball back on, of course, you know, it's.
we're more than happy to hear whatever, you know, to entertain this sort of an arrangement. There are several issues with the facility that would need to be addressed.
Okay.
And that's not something that the town is willing to do at this time. We've already spent a small fortune since taking ownership of that facility. And we're not prepared to invest any more money in it, at least from discussions we've had in the past.
Okay.
So some improvements would need to be made. There's a couple safety issues that have to be taken care of before anybody can even be out there. A couple involving dugouts, unsafe structure that one of the organizations that used the facility before had built, and it's just not a safe structure. But beyond that, and to your question about maintenance, again, we're kind of looking to be out of the baseball business.
Okay.
And, so we'd be really happy to talk with you again about this.
Okay.
And if you want to do a walk around down there, maybe that would be a good thing to do.
Right. Most of the board members, we had a couple that were going to come down tonight, but one's on the fire department. They had a board meeting. A couple other guys that want to come down and see it and see, you know, what we're looking at, you know, as far as that end of it goes. But I told them I'd come down tonight and, you know, mention that we're interested in it. If you guys aren't going to do anything with it.
Yeah, we're open to. We're at the point where we're entertaining every option, and you know, we'd be happy to talk with you more about it. What we did earlier this year with a couple organizations that were interested is we actually had a meeting down there, walked the facility, talked about things that would need to be updated prior to use, things that we would want to see maybe updated in conjunction with use, and you know, we can let you get a good feel for the facilities that are there and the amount of upkeep that they would be as well. So, is that something that you would want to do, maybe?
Yeah, we can do that. We can set up a meeting and we can, you know, bring a few more board members down, take a look at it.
Okay. When would you want, was this for next year, I'm assuming?
For 2021, yes. Yeah, I think we're already out now, so. But I mean, no, there we start April to normally June, July. The big tournaments happen in July, so there'll probably be an influx. If we use both Diamonds, Tipton here, there'll be a lot of out-of-town folks coming through. So,
Okay.
you know, it's upwards of 15 teams, bringing a lot of people through.
Would you be open to a meeting this month yet sometime?
I believe we could, yeah. You guys just tell us when and we could come down, and we're pretty flexible.
I'm available the 16th through the 18th. I'm available the 21st, that's a Monday. 23rd and 25th, that's a Wednesday, Friday. Excuse me, I'm not available.
Any day of the week is, I'm available. My problem is the time of the day that we have to meet. It has to be afternoon.
Okay.
Early evening, 5 or 6 o'clock?
Yeah, it'd be fine. That'd be
While still daylight?
Yeah.
What works best for you, just tell me, and then I will pass it along.
John, you've got something in a couple of weeks, I'm sure.
Yeah, after I've got surgery on the 22nd, and I'll be out of commission for a while after that. So if it's before that, I can meet before.
Would the 16th or the 18th be all right with you guys? That's a Wednesday or Friday?
The 18th?
Friday's the 18th.
16th probably work better.
16th
I have high school
better.
football on Friday.
Wednesday.
Okay.
The 16th.
Let's do
6 o'clock.
the 16th at 6 p.m. That would be perfect.
At the ball field.
Yep. At the ball, and we will advertise that as a meeting, and however many board members come, we won't have an issue. Yeah, we look forward to.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, you got, these diamonds came up, and it's because we need more facilities, and
Sure.
we have a pretty big group up there, so. That's what I told him too, I said it'd be good for practicing and hosting tournaments.
There's actually, they had the Pee Wee diamond there, but they used it for a practice field, so there's kind of three.
There are 3 diamonds.
Two diamonds are playable, and the other one was, they grassed it back in, let it grow over, but it's, you know, a practice field.
Well, during the season, you can use it for your peewees,
Yeah,
while the other ones are in use up there,
right.
because it is a peewee field.
And we have equipment of our own that can redo the infield, things like that, too, so if it needs all brought up and dug up, we can bring equipment down here.
They're not.
It needs
pretty rough.
Yeah, for sure.
But we will.
There's not a lot of work that needs done, it's gonna be an expense, it's just the labor
Right.
involved in, you know, getting some dirt and mix in and stuff on that diamond and different things like that. You know, there's, the roofs on this two dugouts need to be anchored properly, they weren't never done right, so they just need to be anchored properly, which is not, no major.
Most of the material, I mean, not field mixed, but other repairs, most of the material is there.
Okay. Just a matter of finishing it up.
Yeah. A lot of probably 90% of it's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you. We look forward to seeing you next Wednesday.
Thank you.
All right, any other old business this evening?
I have something that I brought up back about a month or so ago when we were discussing the budget as far as giving Andy's helper a raise.
Yeah.
And I was going to do that the following meeting, and I forgot to bring that up.
So what was our discussion at that point?
Well, we're
15.
bringing him up to $15 an hour.
He is 15, we were gonna bring him to
Now, we're gonna put him at
$17.50.
$17.50 at the max on part-time, not to exceed.
Okay.
And I'd like to make a motion that we do that, and I'd like to retroactive it back to the
This 1 year mark.
a month ago whenever we discussed that. Which, what that date was,
The 18th of August.
18th of August. I'd like to make a motion that we give him a raise to the $17.50 per hour and retroactive back to his pay period as on the 18th of August.
Is there a second?
Second motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's pretty good. It seems to be putting in the work, correct? It's trying pretty hard. All right, we'll move on to new business. We've got these two leak adjusts.
Was there parking something or other we were gonna, parking? Where did I see that?
Let's take care of these.
Oh,
these
okay.
adjusts, and then we'll move on. So you verified
Oh, yeah.
not leaking.
Yeah, it's been repaired. I don't know exactly, if you can see what it's written, I don't know exactly what the one was. but-
Sure.
One of them was like a livestock hydrant.
And then this one, you said you didn't see actually where it was leaking from.
I don't know what that one was. I just checked the meter. I don't, I didn't speak with them, I don't know what that second one was. I just know it was tight when we were there.
And they were on the leak report.
That's what Jennifer said, I didn't see it.
Were they on, they were on the leak report, not the high usage? Okay. Well, let's start with, Howard. Is there a motion to approve this?
I'll make a motion, we approve the adjustment. It's been repaired and Andy has verified that there's no longer leaking.
The Howard.
Yeah, Howard.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then, Wade.
Now, it's not much of a description on where the leak was or what really took place on it, but what he's got on here is all we can go by, I guess, and it's not indicating that it was going down the drain. I'll make a motion, we adjust the sewage on it too.
254, their average is 56, so
Big man.
26,000
Oh, yeah, was it, well,
would be a big leak.
yeah.
Is there a second for this?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Jennifer, you want me to sign these ones, or? Other new business. Since this is what was attached to the report, it's, over this parking.
Another room on.
Is this all pertaining to, what is it pertaining to the subdivision? So what is it?
Probably mine, Ryan Carlson, I'm the owner of the truck in question, I'm assuming everybody's asking about my business out there. I was unaware that, I figured since there was no HOA or no restrictions, nobody minded parking there. I have since made arrangements for it to move somewhere else after this week, so it will no longer be a concern out there.
Okay.
Also, I was unaware of, I was putting partly of a gravel staging area for it. That gravel area has since been removed, so there's the 25-foot easement that the town says I have to have. I have put all the, to where it's just dirt there again, to where grass will be replanted back there, so it'll be back to where it was before. So, yeah, we're both new to the area and trying to find somewhere for my, I had somewhere previously where the current home over in Lafayette where we lived, where I parked everything. Moved here, didn't have anywhere, so it was a temporary situation where I was not planning on permanently leaving it there all the time. So I know it's kind of a little bit of a nuisance, but it's the nature of owning a small business. Sometimes you have to do things occasionally you don't want to do. So, but I assume that was the whole as far as okay.
We were given this information from someone too,
Not from the
this,
town.
not from this building, but from somebody else. Sorry about that.
I spoke with them.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We appreciate
The
your
builder.
cooperation, and, sorry for the
No, it is perfectly fine. I understand, it's not something many people want in an area.
Sure.
So, other than coming home occasionally for a truck wash, it'll, out of sight is where it'll be from now on, so.
Okay. All right, well, thank you very much.
Well, we appreciate you working with us.
That's okay.
Yeah, Mark, maybe you got another
She was asking what kind of time frame they need to do to get their variance. She had to make an adjustment to their variance on her business down there, and I told them that would be up to you, and I didn't know if we could give them like 90 days, if that's good, or I'm not sure what type of time frame she needed, honestly.
I didn't get a chance to review our ordinance to see,
There's not anything
if there was
specifically,
anything in there about an appeal or.
there's nothing really specifically in there about that.
Yeah.
So that's why I said it would be
What-
up to the council.
What's,
Well, I mean, in my opinion, they could give them a little bit of time. I mean, she's got notification to do and coordinate the meeting with the BZA and those sort of things, so.
what's a fair amount of time for you, since we don't have anything set in stone? We'll work with you as best we can.
Could we do 60 days?
Is that all right with everybody?
Yeah, my recommendation was 90, so.
That's better.
Is that,
Yeah,
that'll give her time to get the notice advertised and
That's
get
what I
that
was
set up
saying,
with
yeah. That's what I
BZA
was
and all
just
that.
saying, if anything happened.
So,
Sure.
why don't we go
90
90,
Okay.
just to be safe, because with the BZA, we had the issue with, being short members and stuff, so we gotta make sure you got a full
Yeah.
board again.
All right. Well,
Let's go
do
90.
Can you get go ahead and run that through a vote here?
I'll make a vote motion that we allow her an additional 90 days on getting the proper variance for her business she needs down there.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Any other new business this evening?
I would like to impress on the board that, I've been looking at some of the, equipment that Andy's been using, and boy, the town's in dire need of a dump truck and a pickup truck out here, and, I've been kinda looking around a little bit, and I think there's the funds available. Winter's not too far off, really, and, something to plow up the streets, and, that dump truck, as far as I'm concerned, it ought to be taken out here in the field and set on fire. It's that bad. So, I think the town should need to start giving some serious concern about it before we, find ourselves in the dead of winter and then needing a truck.
Sure.
Well, Andy
And-
gave us two.
That's in your
Yeah,
packet.
yeah, I know.
Which one did you like?
Well, that's just one of each, I don't care, I mean, if I gotta pick one or the other, I want a dump truck. I mean,
Yeah.
but it's two, and what is not on there, like I said in the report, is equipment for 'em, because the bed, I don't, they didn't give me a solid price, but I think the bed for the truck is probably gonna be about 15,000. So it'll make the truck like 70.
Is that something that you'd be able to get some numbers on?
Well, I thought I was gonna have it today. I told him I had a meeting today, but it didn't materialize before the end of the day. I don't know, he couldn't get some quotes on some hydraulic parts or something, but I've been waiting about a week.
So we'll look at these and hold on to them. until
Yeah, I'll
next
just give you
meeting.
those now to review, and then hopefully I get the rest of that information for the next meeting, and you can look at that stuff as well.
Think, have you looked at, any like the competitor, either like an X650 or X750?
I know your favorite competitor, Arcadia got, and their truck costs more than ours. I'll get a quote from him if you want. They got a 650 and paid significantly more.
I don't care, that works the truck, but,
Yeah.
I mean, having the most information that we have.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, I didn't get a quote from the other two, I can.
I don't think Dodge even makes
They got a 55,
Yeah.
but it's not a 65.
Truck.
I know the Ford is more,
Okay.
which I haven't looked into. That's what Arcadia went for. Actually, Arcadia truck is down in Mid-State right now.
Yeah, updated.
Yeah, it's a 650. That quote is for 6,500.
Is, I guess I'll go through this, but the diesel truck, I'm assuming.
23.5 GVW, CVW.
That's right.
Hydraulic brakes. It's for a 12-foot bed, it's 84 cab axle. And that's, I mean, that's with, if you, I don't know, it's broken down on one of those pages, the municipal discount, I mean, it's pretty, it's like $15,000.
Yeah.
It's significant. I looked at, they had that same truck on the lot, but at 4,500. So, I mean, it's pretty much,
Cab and all that's the
it's,
same.
all the stuff on it was the same, it's just a bigger rear axle and, some other things on it, but yeah, they didn't have that particular one. He had one on the lot that they were willing to make us the deal on. I was surprised, only $3,000 less than this one, but the cab to axle was too long. It would have had to have a 16-foot dump bed on it, which is just way too big for what we're doing, so that's why I quote that one.
Well, we can review these and then whenever you get the.
I should have everything. I'm
Everybody.
get prices from a couple places, so I should have everything by the next meeting.
John, I was gonna ask you about our kitty, the speed limit on the pole, or not speed limit, speed alarm. Is that through the county?
No.
Or is that something they bought?
I got a catalog on them.
There are
Yeah.
grants, there are grants available.
Well, I was thinking, I'd love to have something like that in Atlanta, you know,
I-
because,
I'd like them as well, they are quite expensive, but as
I need to
Dan
print
just
out that
pointed out,
information.
there are some grants available, so that might be something that we can look into. I think it'd be neat,
oh, yeah,
at least at the entrance of town, you know,
yeah,
might help.
well, I just didn't know if they had purchased it, or if it was, you know, affiliated through the sheriff's department. I didn't know, you know.
They purchased them as far as I
Can I revisit an old business?
Sure.
Fire truck, where are we at with finding a new?
Well, the truck works. I have not talked to anybody else. It does seem that Jackson are pursuing having a new truck built for them.
Okay, so
in
they don't
which
want it.
case their current engine would become their reserve. But Robin did give me an indication that another local department might be looking for a truck.
Uh-huh.
And she was gonna try to put me in contact with them. I haven't heard back from her, so I'll probably try to contact this other department directly.
Okay.
And if nobody local is interested, then we'll, I guess, pursue kind of appraisal and trying to sell it where we can. So, and that goes for the other equipment that's there too. But I will actively work on that between now and the next board meeting. So hopefully we can have a better idea by then.
Thank you.
Is there any other new business from the council this evening?
I have nothing.
We have an executive session tomorrow at 1. Okay.
Is there any other comment or concern from the audience this evening? Can we get a motion to sign the claims and adjourn the meeting?
I make the motion, we sign the claims and close the meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.